This case involves Audrey Flowers, a third felony offender currently serving a 40-year sentence for manslaughter stemming from a violent 2003 homicide. Ms. Flowers was initially sentenced in December of 2022 for simple arson, for which she received probation. That probation was revoked in 2006 after her conviction for manslaughter, resulting in her current sentence. The incident involved the brutal killing of a female victim, Ms. Flowers' former partner's wife, which included physical assault, stabbing, attempted arson, all reportedly tied to a life insurance policy. Now she is up for parole, and the victim's family is here to oppose. They are going to recount the extensive trauma, history of harassment, and the calculated nature of her crime. Let's take a look.
You're classified as a third felony offender. You're currently serving a 40-year sentence. You were sentenced initially in December 2002 for simple arson. You received probation that was revoked in 2006 because of a new felony conviction, which was also in Iberville Parish, of manslaughter, for which you received a 40-year sentence. So this is a rehearing for you. Your parole eligibility date has passed. It's July 14th, 2023, and your adjusted mandatory release date, good time date, is October 16, 2042. Does all that sound correct to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. So your case has been assigned to Mrs. Ledoux this morning. So before I turn it over to her, we want to hear from you and your guest, and then she'll start the interview process with you. So Ms. Flowers, tell us a little bit about how you ended up in jail, what got you there, and why do you think we ought to grant you an early release?
Well, what got me here, that I took somebody's life. And I'm sorry that it's happened. I didn't aim to though.
Okay.
And I asked you just give me another chance, and I could prove myself if I make parole.
Okay, well, we'll dig a little deeper into that in just a few minutes. Let's hear Warden Thomas. What can you tell us about Ms. Flowers?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Flowers arrived around 2006. She has not had any disciplinary write-ups in about 10 years now. She has completed various classes. Right now, she is living in our medical infirmary, like assisted living area. So not major medical, but so she's not currently working, is what I guess I'm trying to say. I guess you all have seen the letter from education. So she has not completed her high set, but she did try very hard with literacy classes. But Ms. Shoemake did not think that her high set would be able to be obtained at this point. And I know Mr. Hunley will probably go over a lot of the parole project if she is granted. So I'll leave that for him.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, Mr. Hunley, could we hear from you in the parole project, please?
Andrew Hunley, representing Louisiana Parole Project, to affirm to the board today that Audrey is a client of our organization, and we stand by ready to present reentry support to her if she is given an opportunity for release. We decided to take on Audrey as a client based on her age, the amount of time that she's served on this sentence, and her institutional conduct record. Her reentry plan would be a bit different from what we normally propose to the board. Because of her age and her health, our organization would prefer that she complete an ICOTS to live with family out of state, who will be able to take care of her long term. What we would recommend is she starts that ICOTS. When the ICOTS, whether the board decides once the ICOTS is started or completed, we would ask that she come into our program for approximately 60 days, where we can assist her with some initial reentry support, work with the family on developing a long-term plan in the area where she'll be residing, help her with her initial issues such as health insurance, getting her primary care appointment, getting her medications and scripts rewritten, and then eventually transitioning her to that approved ICOTS resident out of state. We're concerned in our ability to house her long term because of deteriorating health in her age, but we want to be able to assist her and her family with her initial release into the community if she's given that opportunity. Obviously, she would have the support of our social work team to help her during when she's initially released, and building a plan that carries over to her long-term address. And we would help her with initial programming, in those first couple of months home to ensure that she's got a crash course on technology and social norms. But I stand ready to answer any other questions you may have about her reentry plan. We believe that if she's released, the best long-term plan is with family out of state. And I'll reserve my comments at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's hear from family. Could we hear from Ms. Dolores Landry, please?
You can stand up.
Close to so I can see.
There
you go.
And you can speak.
Okay. I want to apologize to the Wilson family for what happened. And Audrey was the type, worked every day, didn't have money, didn't have underclothes, didn't have food. Because Mr. Wilson took every penny from her. Her retirement. She lived with him forever. He decided to take his wife back, brought her back home to my mother with 6 pieces of clothes. And my mom said, this all she got? And she worked every day? It's just, like I said, all I could say, I'm sorry to the Wilson family.
Yes, ma'am. So if Ms. Flowers was successful, would she go live with you?
She could. My mama living, her daughters, she got 2 daughters in Texas.
Okay, so the out-of-state plan would be Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Landry. We appreciate hearing from you. What about the nephew, Mr. Willie DeProne? Is there anything you want us to know?
This morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
What would you like us to know?
All right. I want you guys to know that I am the nephew of Audrey. My grandmother raised me, and when she started living with us, but before she started living with us, we'll all go to our house. She used to work at the schools, and we'll go to the feeding program and get to see her, and she would feed us and talk to us and, give us good words of encouragement. But I also want to let you guys know that I do want to apologize to the Wilson family as well. It was a tragedy that happened that hurted all of us because we all was family. We did go to the Wilson house. They did come to our house, so we all knew each other. So it hurted us on both sides that happened to the Wilson, and it hurted us that we lost our loved one by going to prison. I also lost my brother maybe 4 years ago. He was killed by a lady, shot in the back. I went to that trial. I sat in that trial. I listened to it, and they gave her 20 years. Just a couple of months ago, I lost my oldest son. He was shot and killed in ghter. The guy is set for trial. I end up talking to his family. And what I'm trying to say is that we all make mistakes. And prison was created to punish you and rehabilitate you. And I think 20 plus years, I think she have learned her lesson. And if you guys would grant her parole, family is strong. We will be united again and help her in every aspect that we could. So I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and hopefully you guys can grant her parole. Thank you.
Sir, appreciate hearing from you this morning. All right, before we start the interview, we'd like to hear first from the opposition, and I'll let you guys, we have Miss, I tell you what, let's hear from Miss Mabel Landry, who's on Zoom first. Miss Mabel?
Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, thank you this morning for allowing me to talk about this situation to you all. I'm speaking from my heart today when I say that I forgive Miss Flowers for what she did to my family. It was traumatic, it was heartbreaking, devastating, and I think the greatest form of aggravated robbery anyone could do. Because she robbed my family of a future that we would never know. She robbed us of a sister who loved her siblings, a mother who loved her children, a grandmother who loved her grandchildren. She robbed the church of a person who was deep into ministry, loved her pastor, loved her church. Matter of fact, the weekend Miss Flowers committed this crime, my sister was preparing a banquet for her pastor and the community at that time. She loved her community. She loved the people around her. She loved life. However, and I want to say that I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and anytime I came home and was with the family, my sister never allowed me to talk about the Falcons. It was always the Saints. So I knew she loved her livelihood. However, I want to say that forgiving Miss Flowers has nothing to do with the views on this parole today for me. After listening to these testimonies, I'm just convinced that she's not ready to handle the privileges and the responsibilities of living outside a confined facility. I'm convinced that as the time that she thought she could do these kinds of things without any remorse. So, and I realize that it takes a lot for you all to consider what she's done, but I'm asking you to consider my family. Finally, I don't know if the judicial leadership of Iberville Parish have ever thought about how Miss Flowers was able to do these things. She, after doing some research on her, I found that she was already supposed to have been in the system. It was found that she had committed a numerous amount of crimes already. And so killing my sister wasn't her first rodeo. She had a pattern of what she did. It always involved breaking and entering, destroying property, using weapons of destruction like fire and bleach to annihilate anything that she went after. So in an effort to disallow her the opportunity to put other abiding citizens in jeopardy wherever she is, and to ensure that no other crimes like this one fall through the cracks, I'm asking the board today to allow her to remain in the facility where she's for the safety of herself as well as other productive citizens, because I believe with all my heart that she deserves a chance for rehabilitation and that it may enhance her ability to one day live as a productive citizen. My deepest concern is that Ms. Flowers receive all the time she needs to be fully rehabilitated, which will allow her to return back to civil society. I think the number of years given at her initial sentence was what was determined by the number of years needed to accomplish that goal. So my consensus is that only she could be returned to the society and be regenerated into the society after she's completed that time. After all, my sister was entitled to a life of freedom, peace, and happiness as well. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, Ms. Landry, thanks for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate it. Here with us, we have Dawn Arson.
Speak.
Okay, I didn't have him listed as speaking, so yeah, we'd like to have him. Morning. We need you to speak up, please, sir, so they can hear you. And so,
I'm sitting here listening. She took my mom's life. They said she went back to her mom with just draws. They said my dad took all of her money and her retirement. When my mom didn't even care about her. My mom knew what she was doing, didn't even worry about her. She was riding in my dad's car when my mama didn't even have a car. I was going from St. James to Black to pick up her to bring her to work. I lost my best friend. I can't ask her to come back to live in his life. But they want her to come home to be with their friend. What about us? You don't deserve to be out right now. You took a 3 or 4 years, and I think that's what you deserve. Not a day earlier. And she went there for to confront her about why she harassing her. Don't go to somebody out there at 6 o'clock in the morning, I pick and became a solution. Asking why you calling my phone. You went there with the intent of what you was going to do. It was already in your mind. You harassed her. You broke in my mom's home, went in her closet, and destroyed all of her clothes. But you want to have big pair of drawers in the church, no money.
yeah, Mr. Wilson, we need you to address your remarks to us, not to Ms. Flowers.
I'm hurt. And I don't think that should be heard a second chance.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Arson?
My name is Dawn Erson. I'm Carrie Wilson's oldest daughter. I want to start by saying, I want to begin today by letting everyone know the violent crime that she committed. She was my father's mother while still legally married to our mother. She stalked and harassed him from March 10th, 2002 until July 13th, 2003. From breaking the locks and windows on the house, pouring bleach and red pepper on her clothes, in her closet, except our father's firewood, having the lights and water turned off, calling her numerous times. The reason we know this is because my mother kept a detailed record of the harassment. She left a 5-subject tablet of the harassment, which was hidden in her car in a briefcase. We didn't find out the details of the harassment until my little brother went in the car and found the briefcase. Before she violently took my mother's life on July 14, 2003, she was on probation for 5 years for setting her then boyfriend's house on fire with him, his girlfriend, and his 80-year-old mother inside. See, she doesn't value anyone else's life. Her, Miss Flowers, she got into the house and watched my mother take a shower. She attacked her from behind while she was getting dressed for work. She was dressed in a bra, khaki pants, socks, and black shoes. She hit her in the back of the head with a black vase, leaving 3 massive lacerations to her scalp, as well as contusions on the left side of her forehead. She was determined to end my mother's life. Even if my mother had escaped Audrey's violent rage, she had flattened the tires on her car with an ice pick. I have my mother's autopsy. She stabbed my mother so violently with the ice pick. It went through her bare skin that tore through the layers of her heart. Also, her right and left lungs were stabbed 2 to 3 times each with an ice pick. Because of her rage and overpowering strength, my mother lost that battle. She stabbed her with a 6-inch knife and left it embedded on the right side of her spinal canal, along with her first cervical segment, with only 2 inches left exposed. After my mother took her last breath, with her fingers entwined above her head, praying on her way out to meet her Lord. And my mother, she loved the Lord. She poured gasoline on top of her body and set it on fire, with plans to burn the house down with my mother inside. She my mother for my father, the $100,000 life insurance policy he had on my mother, and the new house they were living in. See, if she would have let my mother live in 2 weeks, just 14 days, she was leaving him after the family's vacation. She could have had my father and the house. She only knows how to be violent. So approving her for parole will leave everyone's lives in danger. We thank God my sister and my 2-year-old niece at the time wasn't in the house because she had threatened to kill them too. So she doesn't deserve probation. It was premeditated because she bought everything she needed, the ice pick, the knife, as well as the gasoline.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for speaking with us this morning. All right, Ms. Flowers, would you answer any questions Ms. Ledoux has for you?
Ms. Flowers, had you ever been involved with the victim in this crime before? Did you ever speak with her or have any interaction with her?
No, she just kept calling my house and I just kept calling her back. She harassing me too also. I just didn't harass her for nothing.
Okay, so she was bothering you.
We were bothering each other. Yes.
So, what is it with the gasoline? Is that just an easy way, an easy tool to use whenever?
I didn't have no gasoline. She the one had the gasoline and I knocked the gasoline out of her hand.
Okay, well, that's not exactly how the report read that I read. So how many violent crimes have you been charged with?
2.
Staff there answer a question for me. I understand she's level 3 in mental health. Would any of those diagnoses involve impulsivity?
Yes.
Can the warden, do you have any of the mental health issue there?
Looking for that sheet right now.
Okay. I can see level 3 care. Are you currently taking mental health medication, Ms. Flowers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, with those 2 diagnoses, I wouldn't necessarily say there's impulsivity issues there.
They're not.
No, ma'am. Not on these 2 diagnoses.
How long have you been in, Ms. Flowers?
Been here
Yeah,
22 years.
32 years?
22.
22. Okay, that's what I think. Okay. Were you initially charged with first-degree murder?
No, ma'am. I don't think so.
Thank you. Okay. I don't have any other questions, Ms. Renaud.
No question.
All right, so let me ask you this. This is a rehearing for you, Ms. Flowers, and you were seen in 2023. You had a parole hearing and you were denied at that time and said DA opposition. Of course, there was still strong victim opposition, and there was law enforcement opposition, and all that still remains today. So tell us, what have you been able to do since that hearing in 2023? I know you have some health issues, but what classes have you completed since that hearing? Anything?
I took reentry, I took care, I took substance abuse, victim awareness.
Okay, so tell us what you got out of the victim awareness training.
I got a lot of it. When they show us the film, you can't let people push you around. You just walk away and don't get involved, but they get involved in, you know.
I don't see any other questions at this time, Ms. Flowers. I guess the panel's prepared to vote. Mrs. Ledoux. The panel is charged with first of all, being concerned about public safety. And in this case, I am not prepared to grant. My vote is going to be to deny. I feel like we still have a public safety concern with the history of violence, significant opposition. There was a plea agreement. So today, my vote is to deny. Mr. Byron.
And I concur for the same reason.
All right, Ms. Flowers, and I do agree with my colleagues, and I agree to some degree with what was said today. I just don't think you're quite ready. It doesn't seem like you really understand, you know, the seriousness of what it was that you did, and you need to have a better understanding of the impact that you had on the victims, which includes your family as well. And of course, I mentioned the opposition. We heard from it today. It's expressed in the record. So my vote today also is to deny your application. So good luck to you, ma'am.
Let me know what you think about this case in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit subscribe for new videos every week.